Crystals in BlackDesert aren't just about plugging in the biggest numbers. They are your entire build philosophy. But with so many stats, mechanics, and hidden values at play, how do you actually build the best setup for PvE? In this video, I'll break down every major stat that matters, show you real testing results, and help you understand how to build smarter, not just stronger. When we say best in slot crystals, what do we actually mean? Are we talking about the best crystal for pure damage, or the ones that offer survivability and defense, or even utility? The answer is it depends on what you are optimizing for. So let's break it down by starting with defensive crystals. Jin Glorious Crystal of Honor max HP, 2 of these gives you 1700 total HP. It's perfect for people who have not finished their journals yet, and it helps greatly in early game to mid game. Jiren's Tear. Now Jiren's Tear gonna be mentioned a lot because the crystal doesn't just offer offense or utility, it also offers defense. It gives you 10 monster damage reduction, and that's a huge amount of DR. Crystal of Fortitude and Patience. These two are hybrid crystals. They both have monster damage reduction and monster AP. Great for offense and defense. Resistance is another form of defense. In some spots, you're gonna need to run some resistance. For example, Ash Forest, you're gonna need to run a knockdown resistance. For Dekia Thornwood, you're gonna need to run a knockback resistance. And for Crypt, you're going to need a stun stiff resistance. Now let's talk about offensive crystals and what they can offer us. Jiren's Tear, one of the best crystals in the game right now. It offers 10 monster damage and 1% special attack damage. Rebellious Spirit Stone Crystal. Now this crystal is insane. It offers a total of 10 AP, 10 monster AP, and 350 HP. Crystal of Precise Destruction. Now this crystal offers us 6 monster damage, 3 accuracy, and 3 critical hit. This crystal is great for early game all the way till end game. And we're gonna have to upgrade it when we reach high end game to the void version of it, which offers us 8 monster damage instead. Crystal of Brutal Decimation. This crystal is one of the best in slot right now. It offers us 7 monster AP, that's a total of 14, and 1% at back attack damage. That makes it a total of 2% back attack damage. Akrat Crystal is one of the best for a reason. It offers us not just monster damage but also accuracy and attack speed. Now, Corrupted and Darkness both are situational crystals. Both deals great amount of damage in the right situation. For Darkness, it shines when you can manage to land nothing but back attacks. As for Corrupted, it shines when you have a high critical hit rate. And the last one is Ultimate Macalod, which offers us 22 AP total. Now let's talk about utility. In utility we have few options. We have accuracy, which allows us to not miss attacks. We have attack speed, which increases our skill animation. And we have combat and skill EXP crystals. Accuracy is somewhat dead in PvE, but that doesn't mean it won't ever make a comeback. So just in case, here are the best in-slot crystals for accuracy. You have Jin Dawn Crystal that offers us 60 accuracy. Viper and Elkar both offers 20 accuracy. For attack speed crystals, we don't really have any other options other than the Akrad and Alucas. Final rule of thumb, in the future always prioritize high AP, monster AP, special attack damage, and species damage if you are already over the soft cap. Build around those and you will always be set for PvE. Let's start with crystal slots, why they matter and how to unlock them. When you first open your crystal preset, you will notice 4 slots are locked. Each one of them can boost your damage or increase your survivability. You can unlock the bottom 2 for free if you finish Land of the Morning Light questline. And you can unlock the top 2 if you have a Garmoth Heart, which can unlock both of the slots, or if you have a Karanda's Heart, which can unlock only the slot on the left. The middle slot is the outfit slot. It's usually not important since most bonuses here are capped. To unlock it, you enhance your outfit with a Black Spirit Claw. You can also slot crit, movement speed, or attack speed crystals, but most of these are already maxed out with food and gear. Overall, these slots offer minor improvements and in most cases it's useless. And in order to unlock the bottom crystal slots, you only have to equip Khazard accessories. Yep, that's about it. Health points gives you more room for error in grind zones, whether it's Honglim base or all the way to Dark Seekers. Having a high health pool gives you breathing room for surviving heavy hits, desync or iframe mistakes. Let me show you a test I did at Honglim base at nighttime when monsters deals increased damage. This test was done with only 325 DP, so survivability was pushed to the limit. I stood in the middle of the mobs for 10 seconds to see how long I could survive under different setups. This clearly shows how both HP and monster damage reduction work together to keep you alive, especially with low DP. And remember, monster damage reduction reduces incoming damage directly, just like your base DR. I also ran a quick test at Dark Seekers to see how much the Kabua's artifact monster DR actually helps. Without Kabua's artifacts, I was taking 2316 damage. And with Kabua's artifact, I was taking 2101 damage per hit. In endgame zones, survivability matters as much as damage, so don't sleep on HP and monster DR. And of course, this is a personal test. Results will always vary depending on class, gear, RNG and mechanic. Let's talk about resistance in PvE, because sometimes it's the difference between life and death. Most of the times you can ignore resistance, but in certain grand spots, skipping it will get you killed. Take Dekia Thornwood for example. One wrong knockback while using unprotected skill or desync and you are probably dead before you can react. Or Crypt of Resting Thought, where a single stun sends you back all the way to the node manager. Here's a rule: match your resistance to the crowd control you will face. Knockback resistance for Dekia Thornwood and stun or stiff resist for Crypt. Aim for 100% resist, because when the CC lands, you want it to do nothing. Why? Because Dead players deals 0 DPS. Resistance keeps your rotation smooth, your uptime high, and your sanity intact. Is it always necessary? No. But in the right spot, it's not just defense, it's offense. Before we get into hidden AP, you need to understand AP soft caps. All monsters in BlackDesert have an AP threshold, often called soft cap. Once you hit that cap, any AP you gain beyond it, it becomes less effective. Take Ackman for example. The soft cap there is 600 total AP. Once you go over that, each extra point of AP is only 70% effective. So going from 600 AP to 610 AP gives you the equivalent of just 7 AP in actual damage. This is crucial when optimizing your crystals. You want to reach that cap, but pushing far beyond it might not be worth it, and you might be better investing in other stats like special attack damage or species damage. Hidden AP. Now, as you notice in this clip, I'll be cancelling and applying my crystals, but you'll notice my AP is not changing. It's gonna still be 351 for some reason. The reason for that, we have something called hidden AP in the game, or we call it technically hidden AP. Now, this thing is arguably the most important stat. It might not show on your sheet AP, but it does show when you hit like the total stat menu, it will show there. This one increases your total damage output. You can get it from multiple sources, from class passives, class skills. The biggest one is hitting AP brackets. You can get it from crystals, food buff, furniture buff, and drafts. Now, as you notice in this clip in front of you, how my AP increasing whenever I'm applying my crystals and decreasing whenever I'm removing them. That's because what I'm showing you right now is the total AP, or the view total stat menu, which is something new they introduced. Monster AP functions just like hidden AP, but only applies when fighting monsters. It stacks on top of your existing AP, making it easier to hit AP caps, where reaching the right AP threshold can dramatically increases your damage output and trash loot per hour. Even a small boost like a 10 monster damage can noticeably impact your grind efficiency. Species damage or race damage, whatever you want to call it, work a bit differently than regular AP or monster AP. It's always 85% effective, except for the first 5%, which applies at full value. That means if you have 1 extra damage to demi-humans, it counts as 0.85 AP worth of bonus damage. But here is the real strength. Species damage is not affected by monster AP caps. That means even if you have hit the soft cap for a grind zone, species damage continues to deal full impact. This is extremely important. Once you have reached the AP soft cap, like 600 AP in Ackman, any AP you gain afterward is only 70% effective. But species damage remains strong, making it more valuable in capped zones. I tested species damage specifically on Camasylvian mobs to see how much of a difference it actually makes a real grinding. Without any Camasylvian damage, it took me 7.21 seconds to clear the pack. With Camasylvian damage equipped, the same pack took me 7.07 seconds. That's a noticeable improvement. It's about 2% faster kill time, not massive, but every second adds up across an hour of grinding. Of course, this is just one example. In zones where you are already soft capped on AP, species damage becomes even more effective. And as always, this is just my personal test, and nothing in video is ever 100% accurate, because there are so many factors at play. From movement to RNG to attack angles, you name it, it's there. Let's talk about special attack damage, one of the biggest hidden damage boosts in BlackDesert Online. Special attacks are triggered under specific conditions during combat. These include critical hit, back attack, down attack, air attack, counter attack, and speed attack. Each type has its own damage multiplier. For example, critical hit deals double damage at 100%, back and down attack both gives 50% in PvE, air attack are especially powerful at 100%. Counter and speed also offer strong bonuses but are way less common. In PvP, these values are nerfed, but for PvE, they are extremely impactful. Now, here's the catch. These modifiers can stack. A critical hit that also qualifies as a back attack will deal 2.5 times the base damage. That's a huge spike, especially when chaining a skill designed for back or down attack. But you can only trigger one of the back, down, air, or counter modifier at a time, depending on the enemy state. However, all of them can stack with a crit. That means positioning is key. Attacking from behind, knocking down your target, or catching them airborne can significantly boost your damage. And this is where crystals come in. Crystals that boost special attack damage, like 12% back attack or 10% critical damage, amplify these multipliers even further. So if you can hit a lot of back attacks or crit, stacking special attack bonuses will outperform raw AP in many grind spots. Bottom line, understanding and optimizing special attack damage is one of the best ways to maximize your PvE efficiency in BlackDesert. In the end, this is my personal test and research. Just remember, nothing is ever fully accurate in this game with how many variables are at play all the time. Let's talk about accuracy in PvE and why you can probably ignore it right now. Here's the truth, accuracy is dead in PvE for now. Why? Because most monsters have little to no evasion and your skills already come with high base accuracy. Unless you are constantly seeing miss pop-ups, which is rare, investing in accuracy is a complete waste. But this could change overnight if PA added another zone like Crypto Bursting Thought, where monsters actually had evasion, then accuracy might make a big comeback. Until then, focus on what really matters. Raw AP, monster AP, special attack damage, species damage, and survivability. Save those accuracy crystals for PvP. Your PvE grind doesn't need them anymore. Let's take a look at attack speed percentage and what it actually does. It simply increases our skill animations. Attack speed percentage. For this test, I used Mystic Roaring Tiger as a baseline to see how attack speed affects the animation, from skill input to damage output. Now here's my full setup. 20% base from attack speed level 5, 10% from add-ons, 5% from Velheart, and each crystal give me 1%, so that's a total of 4%. But here's the thing, testing percentage based attack speed is messy. It can be affected by FPS, ping, server lag, input delay, or even the game engine farting itself out, so nothing is ever 100% accurate with this. That said, here's my results. When it comes to leveling up in BlackDesert, XP crystals can be surprisingly useful, especially if you're trying to level up alt characters to 60 or 61. But not all XP is created equal. Let's break it down. There are two types of XP crystals in the game. One is combat XP and one is skill XP. Combat XP helps you level up faster. This is the XP that really matters, especially if you are pushing alt characters to level 61 or preparing to level up your seasonal character. Here are the best combat EXP crystals you can use. Stacking few of these can noticeably speed up your leveling. It used to be essential. Classes once needed more than 1,000 skill points to unlock everything important, but now most classes need at most 1,000 skill points to access their key skills. So skill XP has kind of lost its value, at least for now. Still, here are the skill XP crystals available if you want to use them. Again, not the most useful these days, but they are there if you want to use them. Now, let's cover all the ways you can get powerful free crystals in BlackDesert Online. First up, Rebellious Spirit Crystal. This is one of the best all-around PvE crystals in the game, and you can get one just by doing the main questline. Finish the Medaya, Valencia and Camisylvia questline to receive Black Spirit Crystal, Awakened Spirit Crystal and Valtara's Spirit Crystal. Use simple alchemy on all three and you will get one Rebellious Crystal. But since you will want two of them, here's how to get a second. Option 1. Use seasonal seals. Exchange them for the same 3 spirit crystals. Do it twice and you will have everything needed for another Rebellious. But keep in mind, these seals are very valuable for maids, pets and more. So only do this if you really need that extra Rebellious. Option 2. Use Rift Boss's seals, aka Dark Spirit Greed. You will need 150 seals total, 50 per crystal. This one takes time but doesn't cost that much silver. Option 3 is the marketplace, the expensive route but worth every silver. These crystals stays relevant from early game all the way into high end game in PvE. Now let's talk about Power Crystal, another great free crystal you can get from questing. You can get up to 4 of them. One from Medaya questline, one from Invitation to Eye, one from finishing the Bahmakia dungeon questline, and one from the Sikrakia dungeon questline. These are amazing for early to mid game. You will use them later to craft Crystal of Brutal Decimation. They are free, useful and progression friendly. Alright, let's go over our first PvE crystal build, designed for players who want to start grinding Honglim base early. Quick warning though, I don't really recommend doing Honglim base without Kabua's artifacts. Even with this build it's going to be rough. Here are the things I highly recommend having before jumping in. Karanda's Heart for the extra crystal slot, Kutum's Heart for the bonus HP, and make sure you finish Bartali's adventure log deep during Morgrim's, Agris, and most importantly, Chapter 1 of PvE. This test was done with 321 DP, Kabua's artifacts, and Karanda's Heart for the extra crystal slot, with Harmony's dropped, and Spirit Perfume for the HP and MP recovery on hit. Here is the full Honglim crystal build. 2 Rebellious Spirit Crystals, 1 Jiren Tears, 2 Critical Damage Crystals, 2 Max HP Crystals, 2 Precise Destructions, 2 Fortitude Crystals, 2 Acrods, 1 Bitterness, and 1 Power Crystal. Perfect for surviving Honglim base and still farming with efficiency. Now let's move on to the mid-game crystal build, built for players who have progressed past early game and want to push for serious PvE damage. This build was tested with Kabua's Artifact, 401 DP, Courage Perfume and Demi-Human Harmony Draft. Here's the full crystal setups: 2 Rebellious, 1 Jiren Tier, 2 Corrupted Magical Crystal, 2 Precise Destruction, 2 Fortitude, 2 Glorious Acrad, 2 Power Crystals and 2 Brutal Decimation Crystals. I ran few Cyclops tests with this build, and while I could not afford a Crystal of Bitterness on my NA account, it probably would have helped a bit more. That said, I was still able to kill the Cyclops a few times before it hits the one shot, which is a huge win for a pure damage setup like this. This build focuses heavily on raw DPS, so having Fallen God armor, Kabua's artifacts and some adventure journals completed will make a big difference. Now let's talk about endgame and high endgame builds. To be honest, at this stage you should already have a solid grasp of how crystals work and what your class needs and what the spot also needs. But just in case, I made few builds, one with Garmuth Heart and one without Garmuth Heart. Both were tested with 331 AP. As for high end, it's really simple. It's the same build as the one with Garmoth, except we upgraded the destruction crystals into the void version, and the same with Akrats, we upgraded them into the void version. Also, the AP on this test was 350. Before we wrap things up, here's what truly matters. No matter how the crystal meta shifts in the future, raw AP and monster AP will always be the foundation of your damage. Special attack damage, like back attack or crit, gives you the biggest multiplier when used right. Species damage shines once you are over the AP cap. Survivability stats like max HP and monster DR keeps you alive, especially in endgame zones. And everything else like accuracy or resistance, it depends on the grind zone. Crystals may change, but the core priorities will not. And that wraps it up. Crystals in BlackDesert are more than just stats. They are about adapting to your grind spot, your gear and your playstyle. Whether you are just getting started or theory crafting for endgame, I hope this helped you see the bigger picture. And if this guide helped you out, consider liking or subscribing. Stay sharp out there and happy grinding.